right, welcome to your note guide for multiplying binomials, which we will typically be using the FOIL method. Now I'll teach you FOIL and also what's called the box method. It's just another way of representation. You can choose any method that you like as long as you are comfortable with it. So before you get started, you should have done the investigation on your own. Just kind of trying it out, seeing what you can do. And now here's your more formal notes. So we can use an acronym called FOIL to multiply any binomials by each other. So F stands for first. So our first terms in each set of the parentheses. O stands for outer. Okay, so our outside terms. I for inner. This time our inner terms. And then L for last. So our last terms in the parentheses. So now let's multiply 3x minus 5 times 2x plus 7 and see what we get. Okay? So our first step is to multiply our firsts. Okay? So our first is 3x times 2x, which is 6x squared. Okay? Then we multiply our outers. So 3x times 7, which is 21x. Then we have our inners, so negative 5 times 2x, so minus 10x. And then lastly, our lasts, so negative 5 times 7, which is negative 35. Okay, now that we have this, all we have to do now is combine like terms. So 6x squared does not combine with anything, so we still have 6x squared. 21x combines with negative 10x. 21 minus 10 is positive 11, so positive 11x. And then lastly, negative 35 doesn't combine with anything, so we still have minus 35. Okay, so if this multiplying and first, outer, inner, last thing confuses you, there's also something called the box method. So if you make a large box, we're going to divide it into 4 sections. So one line, kind of making it look like a window. Okay, we then write one of our binomials on top. So we're going to have 3x and minus 5. And then we write our other binomial along the side. So 2x plus 7. Okay, now we multiply each area to fill in that box. So 2x times 3x is 6x squared. 2x times negative 5 is negative 10x. 3x times 7 is 21x. And negative 5 times 7, negative 35. Now we're going to combine like terms by going diagonal. So 6x squared doesn't combine with anything. Negative 10x plus 21x gives us positive 11x. And then lastly, negative 35 doesn't combine with anything either. So then there's negative 35. Okay, so that's how we multiply binomials. Okay, it's just an expansion of the distributive property. So let's do a couple more examples. Feel free to pause this video at any time to try some on your own as well. Okay, so practice letter A. Again, using the FOIL method. 3y times 2y for our firsts. That gives us 6y squared. 3y times negative 5 for our outers gives us minus 15y. 4 times 2y for our inners gives us 8y. And then 4 times negative 5 gives us negative 20 for our lasts. The next step is to combine like terms. 6y squared does not combine with anything, so we still have 6y squared. Negative 15y combines with 8y. We get negative 7y. And then negative 20 doesn't combine with anything, so minus 20. So there's letter A. Again, feel free to pause. Letter B. Okay, so now we have 2 variables going on. Still do it the exact same way. So we treat our firsts first. So 5p times 3p is 15p squared. Then our outers, so 5p minus 6 times negative 6y gives us negative 30. Now we can't combine those variables, so we just have py or yp, whichever you prefer. And then inners, so 6y or 3y, 2y times 3p, which then gives us 6py. Now you understand why I was stumbling over my words. And then our lasts, 2y times negative 6y gives us negative 12y squared. Okay. Again, combining like terms. P squared, there's no other p squared, so we have 15p squared. Negative 30py plus 6py becomes negative 24py. And then negative y squared, negative 12y squared doesn't combine with anything, so we still have minus 12y squared. And there is our polynomial simplified. So our next question is, do you believe FOIL will work for this problem? Completely up to you. You answer the question as you feel fit. Okay. So now I want you to do the problem from the, instead of previous page, that should be previous question, using the distributive property. So we have 4x squared plus 2x minus 6 times 2x minus 3. Okay? So we're going to distribute each term in one of our sets of parentheses to the terms in the other set. So 4x squared gets distributed to 2x, and we get 8x cubed. 4 squared also gets distributed to negative 3. We get minus 12x squared. Okay, so now our 4x squared is done. So now we're going to look at 2x. So 2x times 2x is 4x squared. 2x times negative 3 is negative 6x. And then we're going to look at our negative 6 term. So negative 6 times 2x is negative 12x. And negative 6 times negative 3 is positive 18. Okay. Now combine like terms. 8x cubed doesn't combine with anything, so we have 8x cubed. 12x, negative 12x squared combines with 4x, and we get minus 8x squared. Negative 6x combines with negative 12x, we get negative 18x. And then plus 18 doesn't combine with anything, so we have plus 18. And there is our simplified version of this example. So now on the back, I want you to do the same thing. However, try it on your own before continue watching this video. Okay, so now that you have tried this on your own, we'll go over this. I will show you both the distributive property and the box method for this one. So 6n times 2n squared is 12n cubed. 6n times n is 6n squared. 6n times 7 is 42n. And then we move to our 8. So negative 8 times 2n squared gives us negative 16n squared. Negative 8 times n gives us negative 8n. And negative 8 times 7 gives us negative 56. Again, just like everything else, combine like terms. So 12n cubed does not combine with anything. 6n squared combines with negative 16n squared to give us negative 10n squared. 42n combines with 8n, and we get, or negative 8n, we get 36n. And then negative 56 doesn't combine with anything, so negative 56. All right, so now here comes our next, or our box method for this. So instead of this time having 4 blanks, we're going to have 3. So we have 2 sections, and then 1, 2, 3 sections. Okay, so we have 6n and minus 8. And then we have 2n squared and 7. So again, filling in our box, 2n squared times 6n is 12n cubed. N times 6n, 6n squared. 7 times 6n, 42n. 2n squared times negative 8 is negative 16n squared. Negative 8 times n is negative 8n. And negative 8 times 7 is negative 56.